Welcome back to our live stream tonight. This is yours truly, DKC. We're going to have a very lovely session. It's going to be therapeutic and hopefully reflective, yet calm and peaceful. Talking about childhood traumas is never an easy experience. But tonight we will be inviting persons to come on up on the StreamYard and share and talk and receive commendation and receive comfort and encouraging words from everyone else. So you are warmly invited. So we will begin our chit chat in approximately 10 minutes. So just connect with us, take a moment to share the live stream, take a moment to leave your kind regards in the comment section. You are welcome here, and so would your friends as well. So come on over. I will soon be sharing the StreamYard link. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so guys, we are finally back. Tonight is a whole situation. Tonight is a whole situation, guys. So let us connect while we wait. Welcome, 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 welcome. How are you tonight? How are you? Feel free to say hi. Welcome. Tonight our topic is very important when we're going to be chatting about. Let me play a little background music to keep our minds chill. But we're asking persons to analyze themselves. Okay? Have you healed from your childhood traumas? That's the question we're asking persons. You don't have to respond. You don't have to give details. But let's just have a response from you. Have you healed from your childhood trauma? If you have healed, you can share with us what was the process. All right. If you have not, why did you come to that conclusion that you have not healed from your childhood trauma? All right. Do you understand your childhood trauma? Do you understand how your childhood traumas impacted your life and how it continues to impact your life? All right. I'm not an expert on this topic. I am not an expert on this topic in no way, shape, or form. Yes, but it's a topic that interests me a lot. You know? So my intention was to invite persons up on the StreamYard, but my laptop is crashing every time I go to do that. So I'm just going to be by myself. But of course, feel free to jump into the comment section. Hi, Tyler. How are you? Always first. Oh, gosh. I will start to call you always first. How are you going? Yeah, so Tyler, you are still a young person. You are still a young person. And when you hear the word childhood trauma, you may be a bit clueless about what that is. All right? But let me yes, that's the question. Have you healed from your childhood trauma? But you are still I categorize you still in it as a child. All right? Right? So I will try to explain to you what I am referring to, right? So that you could better understand. Now, allow me to tell you a definition of childhood trauma. I found this great. I was supposed to screenshot. Right. So, to understand childhood trauma, let's just discuss what a traumatic event is. We're talking about a traumatic event. As you go through your life as a teenager, it is possible that you can experience a very traumatic event. All right. Now, this is what it says here. And I'm reading from, come on, I'm trying to get my phone to respond to my pinching. But I want you to go to your bed or to but I'm happy that you are saying hi, and I know you normally stay just for a brief moment. But just after I explain this, I think your time would have expired. So it says a traumatic event is a frightening, dangerous, or violent event that poses a threat to a child's life or bodily integrity. All right, so I'm going to repeat. A traumatic event is a frightening, dangerous, or violent event that poses a threat to a child's life or bodily integrity. Witnessing a traumatic event that threatens the life or physical security of a loved one can also be traumatic. This is particularly important for young children as their sense of safety depends on the perceived safety of the attachment figures. So let me just break that all down. All right. We're talking about childhood trauma. And yes, I want to hear from those in the comment section. All right. So this definition comes from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network. I just read an excerpt from what they said, and they describe, let's break down, it's a frightening, dangerous, or violent event that poses a threat to a child's life or bodily integrity. So it is an event that can cause a child, and when we say child, we are referring to okay, let's leave babies out of child, but I think it could also impact babies, right? But let's just say someone from 3 years, let's go right up to teenage years. All right, so you fall into this category, right? And your life or the life of a child, 3 years to teenage years, you go through some violent experience, something dangerous that impacted your life. Let's just say, for example, if you were born in a country that was in the middle of war, all right? You were born in a country in the middle of war, and you lived a very large part of your life in a war-torn country. War threatens your life. War threatens your security, your sense of safety. All right? And even if, let's just give a scenario that you moved to a country that does not experience war. Let's just imagine you move to Tobago, this somewhat peaceful little island in the Caribbean. So you are moving from your war-torn country, and you are now moving to a quiet, peaceful country. Childhood trauma speaks to the fact that though you have changed your physical location, the impact of what you have been through or that traumatic experience or event will or may continue to impact you if you do not get the necessary help and support. All right. Okay, so are you all hearing me? Let me know in the comment section. Let me check the comment section. Let me make sure that you all are hearing me clearly. Right. I'm not a teen. I was playing games with my friend. Let me go back to the top. I say, okay. I was playing games with my friend. I'm not a teenager. Nah, I'd stay up. Okay. Stream lagging. You see, this is why I'm asking. Okay. So the stream is lagging. So I am having, I believe it's an internet issue. It's lagging. but are you able to understand what I'm saying? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? I'm very interested in knowing whether you understand, whether you all are understanding. Because if it is so bad that we're not understanding, then I may have to consider doing the life at another time. Give me some feedback, please. Please. Yes, guys, we are talking about childhood traumas. So far, well, I've been told that my stream is lagging. Let me know in the comment section, is it that bad? Are you all following? Are you all understanding? Give me some insight so I would know how to probably address this issue. Yes, so we were talking about childhood trauma, right? And we gave a scenario of a child who was living in a war-torn land, and though he has moved away from that war-torn land, or let's just say the war has ended, it doesn't mean that he is not still impacted by what he have experienced. No, some of his experiences may have included losing parents, losing family, losing home, running and looking for shelter. All right. Some of his experience could have included just abuse in refugee camps, right? And we could go on and on and on. So the point is, we are saying that childhood trauma doesn't necessarily disappear because of a change of location or a change of circumstance. All right. So my question to the audience for the rest of the evening is, have you healed from your childhood traumas? Have you healed from your, as the definition says, the dangerous events that impacted your life, or the violent events that impacted your life? Those life-threatening experiences. I have to reflect on those questions, right? So this is not just for you, it's also for me. And as I've said, I'm not an expert on this topic. Definitely not an expert on this topic, but this topic should interest each and every one of us. All right? So let's discuss now what are some traumatic events. So I gave one scenario. Let me give you another scenario. All right. So you grew up in a family. Okay, we're gonna talk about sexual abuse a little later because this topic is one that you can't get away from that, right? But let's talk about that a little later now. But let's talk about physical abusive situations. So let's say you grew up in a family and you were living in a physically abusive situation. When we talk about physically abusive, welcome to the live. Welcome, Crystal. Yes, we need to heal as a people. Can you tell me what you mean by that, Crystal? Welcome. And feel free to share with your friends who may be interested in this topic. You know, this topic is I'll have to do a part 2 of this. I'll have to keep this conversation going. All right, potentially even inviting others to join me to talk about this. This is a serious situation. Yes. So, what do you mean we need to heal as a people? Well, I mean that is, I understood what you mean generally, but can you tell me why you believe that, why you feel that way? Right? What makes you feel so strongly about that? Yes. So we're going back to the physical abuse while we wait for Crystal to provide her response. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Yes. So physically abusive. Now, what is physical abuse? Or we can include, what is verbal abuse? All right. If you live in a family where, let's use a scenario. Scenarios could be so much things, right? Where your parents were physically or verbally abusive to you. Physically meaning hitting you in an abusive way out of anger. All right. Repeatedly and sometimes without cause. Now, without cause, a child may not be able to discern that a parent is disciplining them without cause, right? But there comes a point when physical abuse can be easily identified. All right? It could be an unnecessary use of force. So let's just say you have a 10-year-old. There is a lot of debate on whether corporal punishment or hitting a child is okay. But let's just say, because for many of us, I'm living in the Caribbean context. I live on a Caribbean island, and getting a good cocktail is not something that is foreign to me. All right? Welcome, Alejandro. Welcome back. Right. So it's not uncommon to get a cocktail, a good spanking, to get licks with a pot spoon, to get licks with a belt, to get spanking on your butt, on your foot, on your hand. All right. That is not like a foreign experience. All right. But was it ever at an abusive level? All right. So childhood abuse, physical abuse, has spectrums, and it is so different for each person, because each person is different emotionally, mentally, physically. So what can be abusive for one child may not be abusive for another. All right. Now remember, part of the abuse has to do with how it makes the recipient of the correction feel. Feelings important. Feelings are important. For others, feelings are important. Right? But remember, in the definition I read from the National Center for Childhood Trauma, right, which I just read earlier, let me just go back to what it said. Let me refresh your memory on what it said, especially if you are joining. It says, Witnessing a traumatic event that threatens the life or physical security of a loved one can also be traumatic, right? This is this is an important point. This is particularly important for young children as their sense of safety depends on the perceived safety of their attachment figures. Right, so we're talking about a child feeling safe. A child in the childish perception, regardless of the measure of correction, that child have to perceive themselves as safe. So for a parent, it's not about you. Right? It's about correcting a child that is unique on their own, that is unique, that has their own physical, mental, and emotional makeup and comprehension. And it is correcting that child to the degree that fosters a sense of safety. Because if that correction is not perceived as safety through reflection, remember this is a child, right? And a child can be traumatized if correction is abusive. So, guys, if you are joining the live, I am yours truly, DKC. I'm not an expert on this topic of childhood trauma. All right, I'm not a therapist, sorry, I'm not a counselor or anything. All right, but this topic should interest us. All right, so when we talk about childhood trauma, when it comes to physical abuse, parents need to be always measuring. I guess that is what makes adults who we are in the equation. As an adult, you have to perceive what is appropriate levels of correction for each particular child. Because you want correction to be given in love, and that correction should also leave a child not in a traumatic or traumatized state, but in a state where they understand that their safety is still intact. The child's own perceived safety. Thank you so much for joining. Feel free to share. Feel free. Thank you so much. Let me check and see if. Let me stay connected with the comment section. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anyone who is joining. Hi, Maritza. How are you, honey? Maritza, have you healed from your childhood traumas? Have you healed? Tell us, yes or no. Crystal, have you healed? Yes or no? No fear of judgment. We don't have to know what the childhood traumas are. What we need to know is what you think. Have you healed? Right? Have you healed from your childhood trauma? If you are one of the few on earth who have not had a traumatic situation, I would say praise the Lord. All right. For example, let's talk about an example. So that's physical. Physical could mean so much more than a spanking or abusive, overdone spanking. It could be being beaten with unreasonable levels of force. All right. It may have to do with maybe the amount of correction that is given. If so, let's just see. If a child does something, and that thing requires a slap on the hand. Maybe a look. For this particular child, the parent knows that that slap on the wrist and the look, followed by a reassuring smile and conversation, that parent knows that that is enough for that particular child. But that parent proceeds to spank that child 20 times. Now remember, one slap, this parent has learned from experience that one slap brings the desired result. Because remember, parenting is like you are learning your child, right? You know, for this child, a slap, a look, and maybe a short conversation is enough. That brings correction. But if you know that that one slap leaves your child feeling safe, knowing mommy is protecting me. They may not fully understand it, but it is not to a degree that the child feels traumatized. Mommy slapped me. Mommy just slapped me. You would not believe a child might get that slap and they may bawl hilarious like if somebody killing them. Because children, that's children. But if that parent chooses now to give this child 20 because the parent is so upset. Spam, 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 spam. Is it about the child now? Is it about the child? That is the question we have to ask ourselves. Or is it about you and your anger? So for that child, they may begin to feel threatened, unsafe. Remember, their perceived safety is what we're talking about. Let me see. A lot of us have had to grow up fast. And while it prepared us for life as adults, it takes away the innocence. That is a whole topic, you know. That is deep. Let me pin that comment. Krista, would you like to share where you are from? I remember there's someone I know here whose name is Crystal Peters. Feel free to drop a comment where you're from if you wish. Don't feel pressured at all. Yeah, so that's the difference between discipline or correction and abuse. A parent has to stay in control. A guardian has to stay in control of situations so it does not become abusive. Now, it may not be physical abuse. It may be a child growing up in a situation where their parents are not providing their needs. Right? Now, if a parent grows up, if a parent is experiencing challenging times, poverty, sometimes children grow up like that, and they grow up to become great people with stories to tell, with life-changing testimonies about their life growing up, let's say, in a slum, and how that has shaped them to be the person that they are. It don't change the fact that what they have been through has affected them and is still affecting them unless they have received support. So let's just say a parent is able to provide. The parent spends money adorning themselves, always looking pretty, going to the hairdresser, getting their hair braided every week, nice work clothes, nice shoes, nice bags, but the children are unkempt. So let's say the children are unkempt, and that is happening because maybe the parents do not have a good relationship. Maybe the child, let's refer to the situation, the child is living with the father. Okay, let's go with a typical situation. The child is living with the mother. Daddy is not paying child support. Mommy decided she's not going down that road. She don't cater. I don't care. Right? And the child grows up not being provided for, always feeling less than, going to school with tacky hairstyles, unkempt shoes. Uniforms are always a situation. Being subject to bullying and name calling and having low self-esteem and not feeling worthy because I am the child who always not put together. Everybody knows that girl, she mother don't love she. No. The mother has a reason why she's doing what she's doing. It doesn't make it right. Because children ought to be protected by all means necessary. So, living in that situation, you may eventually get to 18, 19, maybe you went to college, your self-esteem, you got through college, you pass your courses, but your sense of self-worth is just what it is. Yes. Thank you, Crystal, for being here. Right. So your sense of self-worth is just what it is. All right. So the reality is, even though you go through college, maybe you got passing grades, but you still don't know yourself. You still, people could tell you things and you would just cave in. Persons would, you know, you just never feel complete and whole, right? And you may take this into the way you parent your own children. Let's just imagine that person gets married, she takes it into her marriage, she takes it into her relationship, she takes that trauma, that lack of self-worth throughout her life, making bad decisions. Oh, but I know my face, just talk it. Oh God. So the point is, the question we have to ask ourselves is, have we healed? And you need to know. You need to know if you have healed. It's very important for you to know if you have healed. Now, others can identify character traits in you and may be able to identify, Donnelly, I find you speak very negatively about yourself, Let's just see, for example. Why does always say that you're not looking pretty? Or, I'm just making up examples. Why you always say that, why you always make an excuse for things? Or it may be, I find you don't pay attention to your hygiene. You don't pay attention to your hygiene. You don't pay attention to your appearance. You understand what I mean? So persons on the outside can observe things about us that we may not easily recognize. But sometimes and very often within our own self, let me see if I can refresh this chat. Sometimes this chat doesn't get refreshed. You see this chat? I need to actually refresh it to get the updated comments. Crystal says, yes. Is that yes? So you have healed? Because I didn't notice when the comment come in. I have to kind of keep refreshing this chat because I wasn't seeing the last 3 comments. Crystal Peter says, I didn't go through anything traumatic, but I had a friend that was abused by her stepmother. I saw her getting whipped with an electric cord, and I cried seeing her being beaten. Hmm. Crystal said she's from Trinidad. Welcome, welcome. But I will be house hunting in Tobago this week. Oh, well, invite me, girl. You don't know me, but invite me if you want. Are you a YouTuber? Let me check your channel. Or you're not a YouTuber? I would love to come along on this journey with you for my own education, for my own Because I also don't own a house. Of course, I've did house hunting before, right? But this would be not only a great experience for you, it's going to be a great experience for me and an educational experience for persons who are considering coming to Tobago to purchase properties. So, but let me know. And my numbers, I will try to add my number in the description of this video, or you can get me on Instagram at all common letters, yours truly, DKC. The same channel name, all common letters for my Instagram, yours truly, DKC. Yeah, so I keep trying to refresh the page, right? So it says, oh, good. But it would be nice having you in Tobago. I had a very interesting video idea I had today. And if you would like to be first to talk about it, I think you would enjoy that. I don't know. So maybe we could probably meet up or have a conversation on WhatsApp or Instagram and cement. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 6 million people in the building. 6 million people in the building. Yeah, so the question we asking persons is, have you healed from your childhood traumas? So you see that example you gave with step parents? That's a crazy, crazy situation. Can you imagine? And someone had shared this experience with me, growing up in a family where, let's just say I don't want to, like, your mother died. Growing up in a family where your mother died, right? And then your father remarried, and that stepmother treated you in an inferior way to her own biological children, being physically abusive, and you would have experienced this type of life for over, let's just imagine, 15 years. No, that is traumatic. First of all, you lose your mother while you're young. That's one traumatic event. Imagine growing up without a mother. Well, I did not have to experience that. But there are many persons who have experienced this. So imagine not growing up without a mother. That's crazy. And when the mother figure comes into the picture, this mother figure, because now let's just say your dad remarries, this mother figure comes into the picture and proves not to be a mother who is concerned about your perceived safety, physically, emotionally, mentally abusing you. That's traumatic. The problem, though, is that some persons have these experiences, but they one of two things. One, deny that they have trauma from their childhood experience. Two, they just deny. Okay, did I say deny? What was my first point? Right, so they deny that they have trauma. Some you can either know, you're not denying it, you know that you have trauma. You have been a traumatic as a child, you have still been affected by it. You know that you have it, but you don't understand. It's like, something just off. Something just off, but maybe other people observing it, maybe it's affecting your friendships and your relationships and things like that, right? But it's like you're neither here nor there. You're not. It's like you don't recognize that something has to be done. So you may. I'm trying to refresh to make sure I'm seeing these comments. Right. Yeah. So I was saying before I get distracted. Right. So you don't recognize that something has to be done. You do not recognize how not getting the help impacts on your friendships, relationships, parenting style. Those are three important relationships. If you're not getting the help, it's affecting your friendships, your relationships, and your parenting style. Then you have to try to get help. And you or I have to want that for our own healing. No. So there's another group of persons who knows that they have trauma. So we have those who denying it. We have those who know, but they choose to turn a blind eye. Three, there are those who know it. They know it, but they leave that reading the Bible every day, praying every day, and going up to a tall mountain would turn things around. I am not denying that prayer is important and reading the Bible is important and other spiritual activities are important. But when it comes to childhood trauma, this needs to be addressed on a professional level. Because your ability to apply spiritual wisdom and insights could be impacted by what you have been through. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about childhood traumas, and we're asking persons to reflect as we chit chat on, have you been healed from your childhood traumas? All right. So the reality is, we discussed three people so far. Those who deny that they have childhood trauma, those who they know they have it, but they just turn a blind eye to it. And they just believe everything will just sort out itself. So it begins to affect their relationships, their friendships, their marriages, their parenting style, and everything. Right? Then we talk about the third group who identified this, but they just feel that prayer and Bible reading will just solve childhood trauma. I'm a Christian, and I am definitely endorsing prayer and Bible reading. I'm just saying that when it comes to childhood trauma, professional help is needed and should be encouraged. Welcome, 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 welcome. So have you healed? Have you healed from your childhood traumas? So we have a fourth group now. We have a fourth group who know that they have a problem. They know that they have a problem. They are trying to better understand the problem they have. They are searching out the best therapists, counselors, psychologists to support and help and mentor and be a professional mentor. I'm going back to that word. And they understand that childhood trauma doesn't disappear. So they seek this support on a consistent basis. Now, here's where the problem is for these people. And why persons in the third group who believe prayer and saying will just fix the problem, sometimes it's because maybe money is the issue. And to get a therapist, you have to have money. Yeah. To get a therapist, you just have to get money. So if you have a friend who needs therapy, can you sponsor them if they don't have? If you know this is going to put them in a better place, they'll be better able to function and support themselves, then that's an investment that's worth it. All right. So, because as I said, if this is going to continue affecting that person throughout their life, and there is something that can be done now, then maybe we need to look into that. All right. Yes, guys, I'm not a professional expert on childhood trauma. I just believe that this topic, and I will continue talking about this topic. I will continue inviting persons on this platform to talk about childhood traumas. Yes, I'm going to reach out to experts. We're going to do a series, maybe 4 videos or 4 live streams on this topic. Let's just see where it goes. We're going to roll as it happens. But if you're an expert and you would love to connect with me to talk about this topic, I welcome it. I welcome it. Yes. So, yeah, so that's basically my thoughts. We have to get help from childhood traumas. All right. So The topic I had asked to leave for the end has to do with sexual abuse. Right? That by far appears to be, it's not really taboo. Taboo might not be the word to say, but the most dreadful, shameful type of abuse. Dreadful, shameful, hidden type of abuse. Because you meet someone, they don't say to you, I've been sexually abused, I've been raped, or my father have been sexually abusing me, or my mother have been sexually abusing me, or my uncle is sexually abusing me. You may even be going into a new relationship and want to withhold this from your prospective partner because it is so shameful. It affects a person so deeply that the hidden aspect of this allows you to sometimes have like a dual personality. Right? Because your truth about who you are and the sexual abuse that you have experienced is like a real monster that's ever present. Because if something is in your thoughts consistently, it's like a monster. And it's not even funny. I don't know why I even did that at a chuckle because it's so serious. All right? If there is a thought that's with you, and it could be subconsciously, you dislike men. You are very cautious about the opposite sex. You dislike being corrected by a man. You dislike being told what to do by a man. It's like these indirect. Let me see if I can refresh this live stream. Right. These indirect what's the word to say? Demonstrations of your trauma. If you don't get the help for that, and help is not just praying, help is not just reading Bible, help is professional help. All right? Help is professional help. Right? Professional help along with your spiritual walk. At some point, you will not need the professional help. You will be able to be in a good place to have your spiritual walk, and you may need professional help along the way later on. You would know when you need some further support, all right? Or something may happen that triggers that need, right? So professional support is important, all right? So we want to continue this conversation about childhood traumas. And if you are interested in being on the panel for us to talk about childhood traumas. We'll do another episode soon on childhood traumas. If you would like to share your story, your childhood trauma story, if you think it could benefit someone, you can reach out to me on Instagram. If you know someone who has a story they would like to share, a childhood trauma experience, and how they have received the support professionally, please reach out to me. Reach out to me on Instagram. Yours truly, DKC, all common letters. Thank you so much. Yes, we are ending now. Good night, everyone. I will follow you on Instagram. God bless everyone. Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we're ending off now on this note. Thank you for being a part of this amazing live stream. I would go silent at this point, but I will leave the live stream running so that we will all get an opportunity to support my watch hours. Crystal, if you have to go, can you leave your live stream running? Just leave it running on a low volume in a different part of the room. Or if you're on your laptop, just leave it playing on a low volume because I'm working towards my watch hours. It's where I'm working towards getting monetized. So I would appreciate your support if your circumstance allows. All right. But I'm looking forward to seeing you on Instagram. All right. I'll see you in my next amazing video. Bye. Let's go to our please. Friend, beg or nice in the day or night. Yours truly, DKC. Tobago's blessed, north, south, east, or west. Yours truly, DKC. But we love all the rest. Philippines, US. Yours truly, DKC. We love you, India, Jamaica, Kenya. Yours truly, DKC. We know you come from far. Whitey, plain or car. To yours truly, DKC. Sunshine, land and sea, a natural beauty. Where sweet love is free, happy matrimony, a pigeon point jetty. You have travel plans to Caribbean islands, fun and celebrate. You better come before it's too late. Boy shots. Oh my word. Yeah, to grow and learn, but this is her home. Yours truly, DKC. Yours truly, DKC. Road to 5,000. Yours truly, DKC. Friend, beg or nice in the day or night. Yours truly, DKC.
North, south, east, or west. Yours truly, DKC. But we love all the rest. Philippines, US. Yours truly, DKC. We love you, India, Jamaica, Kenya. Yours truly, DKC. We know you come from far, whitey plain or car. To yours truly, DKC. Sun, land, and sea, a natural beauty. Where sweet love is free, happy matrimony, a pigeon point jetty. You have travel plans to Caribbean islands, fun and celebrate. You better come before it's too late. Boy shots! Oh my word! Yeah, to grow and learn, but this is her home. Yours truly, DKC. Yours truly, DKC. Road to 5,000.